Hey y'all, it's Boo again. Here in my fabulous room. We got upgraded to a corner room, so we're quite thrilled. And I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough. The room doesn't really matter. You know, it's a bed, it's a big old beautiful room. But here's the fabulous part. Sorry about my hand. My camera work is more than shoddy. But this is what I love. This is our deck. It goes here, all the way around the corner to here. Isn't it fabulous? And look at our view from the 5th floor on the outside of the building. This is a little lagoon that is private just to our hotel, the Royal Kona Resort. And actually, I don't know if you can see, but right down there, right where my finger is pointing, there's 4 big, huge moray eels that live in about 3 feet of water that we're going to get some underwater footage of, and I'm going to post that too, because we just get some really cool underwater footage. My husband and I, we spend a lot of time in the water when we're here, and we have really nice new underwater camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and not just post them on my Facebook, but I'm going to go ahead and post them on YouTube too, because you know, I figure there's some people that may not get to see some of this stuff, or maybe wanting to know where's a good place to stay when they're on the Big Island. And I totally recommend the Royal Kona. It's just fabulous. So anyway, this is going to be a vid that I promised about hair. I'm still having issues with connectivity, and the hotels around here want to charge buku bucks for Wi-Fi. So I have to go to a Starbucks to get free Wi-Fi. Does anybody else see the irony in that? I'm in Hawaii and I have to find a Starbucks in order to download some videos. So I'm doing them all on my phone. So that's why I'm doing my own shoddy camera work. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about, I use very few products in my hair. I've always had very long hair. And I color it because I have this Lily Munster gray streak up on the top of my hair that drives me nutsoid. I don't gray like my husband, all, you know, distinguished in the temples. No, I get this weird stress streak on the top of my hair. So I use very few products. I'm very picky about what I do with my hair. I only wash it like 2 or 3 times a week, and in between I use this, and it's Rockaholics dry shampoo. Now, some people don't like using dry shampoo because it leaves a white residue. That's because they're not doing it right, and I mean no disrespect by that. But you always shake it, and then you spray it, and then rub it in, and then I comb it as well. And it's really good about absorbing the oils. Plus, what I like about Rockaholic is that it not only absorbs the oils, but it leaves a nice scent in your hair. And you know me, I'm all about the scent. And it also gives it a little body and makes it easy to style and do something with. Yeah, like I do any styling and stuff with my hair. I don't. I do very little. I don't blow dry it. I let it just air dry. I only use a pick when I never use a brush or anything on my hair, only a pick. My hairdresser has told me many times, hi Diana, that my hair is in good shape for being as long and as old as it is. Because if you think about what's on the ends here, this is probably 10-year-old hair down at the bottom of my ends. So it's pretty hard to keep that hair looking good without getting it cut a lot. And I don't get my hair cut a lot. I do it probably a couple times a year. I'll go see my cosmetologist. So anyway, the other product I use is Moroccan oil. Now, some people use the argan oil, argan, I don't know. But anyway, I prefer Moroccan oil because of the scent. I'm all about the scent. Love it. It's fabulous. Besides that, I don't know if you can see how much I've used. It's like a quarter gone, and I've had it for almost a year. So this bottle was like 45 bucks, 40 bucks, I think. And you can get it cheaper in other places, but I bought it from my hairdresser. You know, I like supporting her, so not literally, but I mean just supporting her business. And so I buy it from her, and so it's probably a little bit marked up so she can make a little profit. But I know I've seen it like on eBay and places like that for much cheaper than what I pay for it. So What I love about the Moroccan oil is I use it a couple times a month, and especially right after I've colored my hair, and it really helps keep the moisture in my hair and keep the color in my hair. So after I shampoo and take a shower and I condition my hair every single time I wash my hair. I never go without conditioning. In fact, sometimes I will get in the shower and just rinse my hair out and then condition the ends. I won't even wash them. So, and I know that sounds disgusting and funky. If I'm sweaty, of course I'm going to do more than that. But normally up in the Pacific Northwest, you know, you don't get real hot, and unless I'm, you know, I will every other day, I'll do a really good rinse because I do cardio every other day. And the days that I lift weights, free weights, I'm not worried about it because I don't sweat that much. But when I sweat, I do take a shower every time and rinse off. And so I will condition it every time, and like I said, twice a month I'll use this Moroccan oil. You need about a dime-sized dollop in your hand. Rub it together, rub your hands together, and spread that oil all throughout your hands before you work it into your ends. Now, you don't need to get it close to the scalp. You only really want to do it mostly on the ends. I do have a couple of really naughty spots in my hair. They're naughty hairs that I will put a little closer up to my scalp on the back, but usually I rub most of it just on the ends, and it gives it a really nice sheen, helps keep the color in, helps keep the sun and the salt water from fading. My color, sorry about, like I said, I'm having connectivity problems, so they want to charge so much for Wi-Fi around here, so I'm just doing my own camera work, so I really apologize. This is going to really suck. But, and then what I was telling you guys about before is a little trick that I learned online to do that really helps me when I'm swimming in the salt water, because I do a lot of red highlights and lowlights, and it's really tough to tell in this light what I'm talking about, especially when I'm, you know, this time of year. If you ain't sticky, you ain't in Hawaii. So I'm really kind of sticky, but to keep the red in my hair, because I had it done just a couple weeks before we came on vacation, there's a couple little tricks I do. The number one thing that you should always do before swimming in the ocean if you color your hair is to get it wet with fresh water. That is the number one thing you can do, is get it wet before you go in. So you know how they have those showers to get into pools. Well, a lot of times there will be a freshwater shower around beaches where you go swimming in the ocean. Well, get in it first and get your hair really good and saturated before you go into the ocean, and that is going to be your number one defense for keeping your hair color nice and bright and not bleed out when you're swimming. Of course, I was so anxious to get in the ocean when we got here. I forgot to do a couple of things before I went in, and so I have lost some of my color, and I'm really pissed off at myself, but whatever. So what I was going to tell you about is this little thing that I do. Now, this says it's for the skin, but it doesn't matter. It is almond oil. That's a big deal, is use almond oil. It's really good for your hair. And it just needs to be this is certified organic sweet almond oil, 100% pure. Just make sure it's pure almond oil. And then what I do is, they say give it a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts almond oil to 1 part vanilla extract. And this is just 100% pure essential oil, vanilla. And I'm not going to give you brands or anything because it doesn't matter. You just need almond oil and vanilla extract. And the vanilla extract, or the vanilla oil, is what I got, is just for the scent, just to kind of, because almond oil can be kind of pungent sometimes to me. And so I just I used this entire bottle of almond oil, and then I just used maybe a quarter of this bottle of vanilla extract to give it a nice vanilla aroma. Problem is, when you use vanilla or oils, you can't just use a normal aerosol kind of a sprayer or a pump sprayer, because when oils get cold and cool down, they tend to gummy up the sprayer and you won't be able to use it anymore. It's called a misto. And this is a salad oil sprayer. This is for health conscious people that don't want a lot of oil on their food. You can buy this, so this is in the kitchen department, and this is the most perfect thing for spraying oil on your hair. It requires, see if I can show you this, it requires this little thing to go inside of it because you have to pump it up. You have to go like this and pump it up. I can't do it one-handed, but you have to, I'm really sucking at this, but anyway, you put the lid on, this thing on top of here, and you got to pump it up, and that will get it to mist for you. And so then I just spray it on my ends, and I would do that now, except for A, I'm one-handed, doing my own crappy camera work, and B, I've already sprayed some on today, so I don't want to put some more on or my hair will be really heavy. But I get it wet, dry it off just enough to where it's still damp, then I spray my concoction of almond oil and vanilla oil or extract, either way, from my misto onto my ends before I go into the ocean, and that will really preserve the color in your hair because, like I said, I have highlights and lowlights, but as you can see, that first just 1 or 2 times being in the ocean without doing that has really lightened my lowlights and highlights down and really dulled them out. And so now I'm doing it really diligently because we're in the ocean every day, several times a day or whatever. But so now I'm making sure that I either have a good amount of, not a good amount, but have my hair damp and I've just put Moroccan oil on it, or I do the almond oil and vanilla extract, a little trick. So like I said, this is the most essential thing for spraying any oil. I don't think it has to be almond oil. I think there's probably other essential oils out there that you could use. The main thing is that your hair is like snake skin. So it's got the scales and they go one way. You know, if you pet a reptile, which, yes, I love snakes and I have done, if you go against the grain, like on a shark, if you go against the denticles, it's very sharp and it will, you know, take the hide right off your hand. But if you go with it, it feels smooth. Well, your hair is the same way. It has these scales, kind of like, that go down, and if you fill that with color and then leave those scales up, well, that color is just going to bleach right out. It's just going to pour right out. Anytime you get it wet, anytime you go in the ocean, that salt really draws it out. But if you fill it with fresh water and then oils, it not only helps make that cuticle, which the scales of your hair is called the cuticle, fold down and keep that color in, but it also fills the gaps with the oils and the fresh water, so that the salt water has to work a lot harder to bleed your hair color out, and reds are the worst. From what I understand, they have the smallest molecules of all the dyes, so they're the ones that will bleach out or bleed out the quickest of all the colors. So anyway, that's my little trick. I have healthy hair. I don't have spectacular Farrah Fawcett hair or anything, but I do what I can, and you guys said that you were kind of interested in finding out what I did, so that's what I do. Anyway, y'all have a good day. This is Boo from the Big Island. Peace.